Hello again, dear students. We are still in Unit 5, Virtue and Vengeance, and we are still dealing with the concept of forgiveness and tolerance. We will start today with our poetry selection. We have two poems. The first one is entitled They Are Hostile Nations. And here, I just need you to look at the word hostile. What does the word mean? Hostile means what? We will get back to this later. Let's start. Our main objectives for this poem is that we need to understand the cultural context of this poem. They are hostile nations, and as well we need to understand the line's references and the metaphor. We need to understand what's between the lines. So the main theme or the main idea of this poem is about war, and we all know what does war do. War devastates, war destroys, and war makes people out of their mind. Okay, I'll start with reading the poem and then I will be explaining some important parts. In view of the fading animals, the proliferation of sewers and fears, the sea clogging, the air nearing extinction, we should be kind. We should take warning. We should forgive each other. Instead, we're opposite. We touch as though attacking. The gifts we bring, even in good faith maybe, warp in our hands to implements, to maneuvers. So here, the poet in this part of the poem, she is trying to say that animals are fading, proliferation means rapid increase of sewers, of sewage and fears of people. The sea is clogged or blocked and no nice air or no clean air to breathe them. What we should do, we should be kind, we should be nice to each other, we should take warning and we should forgive each other. Again, back to the main idea and the foremost idea of this unit, which is to forgive and tolerate. But according to her, we are doing the opposite. We touch as though attacking. We touch each other not in a kind or a gentle way. We try to attack and criticize each other's all the time. Even the gifts we bring to each other's, they may have good intentions, but they may warp, they may be twisted in our hands in order to maneuver or plot. On the other side, we can see that there is a nice explanation of the main ideas of this stanza. That war is destroying the earth, and peace is better than war, of course. And some governments try to manipulate, try to use and control people even when they are at peace. People are unaware of their hostile actions for power. Again, hostile means, I have asked you this question before if you remember, hostile means your enemy. If a person is hostile, it means he doesn't like you at all. He is your enemy. Okay, the other part of the poem we have put down the target of me. You guard inside your binoculars. In turn, I'll surrender. This aerial photograph, your vulnerable sections marked in red, I have found so useful. See, we are alone in the dormant field, the snow that cannot be eaten or captured. So here the poet is trying to say that some people are the target of other people. Even you are a guard, you're saved inside your binoculars. Do you know what's binoculars? Like these are some kind of glasses that people use to see things zoomed in. In turn, I'll surrender. So if you know everything about me, if everything is revealed, then I cannot do anything. And here we have a reference to something called aerial photo, which we will get back to it later. You're vulnerable. The word vulnerable, if you remember, what does it mean? We have studied that before in the previous video. So later we will be telling you the meaning of this. This aerial photograph, your vulnerable sections marked in red, and I have found so useful, so I can monitor you. I know everything. So here on the other side, as we can see that with the black circle, we can see that the people are being watched all the time. You're monitored all the time. You are seen by people. So will surrender if they stop. Everybody knows everything. Alone with no solution. If you are alone, then no solution will happen. Government cannot be defeated. If you are standing alone, you are losing all the time. Let's continue. And then this aerial photo, your vulnerable section. We have mentioned that before. Let's get to the clue part and try to understand the meaning of the word aerial photograph. An aerial photograph is a photograph which is taken from an aircraft or an airplane or satellite in flight. So you can see the photo, it's taken from an airplane, your vulnerable section marked in red. Means line marked in red to show separation between nations. Nations are separated, nations are segregated, they are not in unity. This stanza, on the bottom part we can see important stanza. This aerial photograph, your vulnerable section marked in red, I have found so useful. The government put up sections to divide the people. This aerial photograph to watch them. And then we have another part. See, we are alone in the dormant field, the snow that cannot be eaten or captured. So here, the dormant field, the snow cannot be eaten or captured. We just need to explain that the writer Atwood is referring to the wartime strategies involving the enemy land. In times of war, one side might try to capture the other side's land, particularly if the land is useful, such as cropland, a dormant, snow-covered field. And then, if we continue, we can find that it is a reference, an allusion. If you remember, we have studied the word allusion before. Yeah, in the academic vocabulary section of this unit. So which war is this referring to? Yeah, we are referring to the Cold War, the Berlin Wall, and we will elaborate upon this just right away. In the next slide, we can find that we have a throwback to the Western civilization, the civilization of the West. Yeah, here is the Cold War recap. What's a Cold War? The Cold War was a state of political, diplomatic, and economic tension between the United States and its allies. What were the US allies? The Soviet Union, the USSR, and its allies. So it was a period when a Cold War, not a declared war, but a war between these three big entities. The war started from 1974, and I think it ended, or it came to an end in 1991. So let's get to the last part of the poem. Here there are no armies. Here there is no money. It is cold and getting colder. We need each other's breathing, warmth, surviving is the only war we can afford. Stay. Stay walking with me. There is almost time if we can only make it as far as the possibly last summer. Here again we have a relationship with this poem, an allusion to the Berlin Wall. People were hopeless, people were depressed, government is very harsh and is treating people in a tough way. Must not fight with each other. People cannot fight with each other, and if they are fighting, things are getting bad. No one knows how much time they have on this earth, so life is very short. So try to be tolerant and try to forgive other people. Okay, so at the end, what do we learn? What do we speak about that? Why do we have this poem here? Instead of fighting with one another, instead of quarreling, instead of creating problems, people should stick together. They should come as unity at all times, because life is very short and unexpected. So again, the moral lesson of this poem is that the need for reconciliation. People need to reconcile. People need to agree again among enemies, whether individuals or nation. If you have a problem with one of your family members, if you have a problem with your neighbor, try to settle this and try to finish and solve the problem. It speaks to the need for kindness. Everybody needs kindness. You need to touch people in a kind way. The fact that we need each other to survive. So here the use of peace and forgiveness is for survival, to survive a better life. Thank you so much for listening to me in this video. Wait for more videos. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.